Dog whistle.
Why are you being dishonest and misleading online?
Elephant in the room.
Mentioned Brexit there. There's no getting away from that now, is it? That was damaging to our economy hugely.
Yes, of course.
And Cuckoo Land.
I can't tell you how much support we've had from people walking past the bus.
These are the interesting times. Hello everyone, my name's Matt Johnston and welcome to The Interesting Times, a political comedy show from right here in the UK. It was a double by-election blow for the Tories.
Well, midterm by-elections are always difficult for incumbent governments.
We are having an election within the year, Rishi. It's not midterm, half-term, it's end of term. School's out and so are you. The Tories had large majorities wiped out in Kingswood and Wellingborough. Time to bring out the big guns. Sorry, thick guns. Tory party chairman Richard Holden.
The Prime Minister is very much targeting his time and efforts on trying to really address those big issues that I know people are facing right up and down the country. And one of the big ones of those has been over the last 18 months or so following Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine, and then those issues we've now seen in the Red Sea and the blocking of the Suez Canal route around inflation, which their ambition is to block Conservatives winning seats and therefore put Keir Starmer into Downing Street.
No plan at all. Not interested in the future of the country. And when you look at it, it's fully back to square one.
I think you mean forward, Dick. Forward to square one.
Again, after
when you say square one, do you mean where we were 14 years ago? Is that what you mean?
Exactly. When the country was borrowing,
when hospital waiting lists were a third of what they are now.
When we
weren't in recession.
We
didn't have the number of people crossing the channel. I just want to make sure that when you want to go back to square one, for my listeners, now I'm sorry to talk over you, you want to go back to a third of where we were with hospital waiting lists, name not the same number of people crossing, and we weren't in recession. I think a lot of people would vote for that.
And indeed they have done in both Wellingborough and Kingswood. Jen Kitchen wiped out the Tory majority in Wellingborough, and Damien Egan wiped the smile off Jacob Rees-Mogg's face.
I'd like to begin by congratulating Mr. Egan. It is a wonderful thing and a great honour to be a Member of Parliament. But if you add up the Conservative vote and the Reform vote, then that is more than the vote achieved by the Labour Party.
Okay, that's a strange take. He's like one of those football managers. Yes, we lost the match, but if you count all the free kicks and throw-ins and adding them together, then we still lost the match. Yeah. Jacob Rees-Mogg is a Conservative MP for North East Somerset, and following boundary changes, his constituency would include a portion of this area to become North East Somerset and Hanham, which is why I presume Jacob is there. I presumed wrong.
So is that why you're here?
No, I'm actually here for GB News, because I do a programme for GB News.
Putting pay packet before party, or cash before constituents. That man's a Conservative through and through.
Is it your message that the Reform Party cost the Tories this seat?
It's for us as politicians to win their support, but I think we win their support by concentrating on the areas where we agree, and that means getting to a position where taxes are reduced, dealing with the ridiculous net zero proposals that are becoming unaffordable and are closing down industry in this country, making sure we get all the benefits of Brexit, the things that people...
I guess two rights do make a wrong. So why did the Tories do so badly in the by-elections? Well, it's a stupid economy. It's the economy, stupid.
But at the start of this year, I really believe that the economy has turned a corner. I absolutely believe that the economy has turned a corner.
And we are now walking into oncoming traffic in a balaclava and blackout suit.
The Prime Minister's pledge to get the economy growing again has suffered a significant blow. The UK entered recession last year.
But is it a recession? Or is it a sort of... I don't know.
The economy went into technical recession.
Yes, it's technically a recession. Like you are technically going to lose the next general election, and when you do, I will technically laugh and have a technical party or work event.
Even before this news about recession today, there were signs that the Chancellor was gearing up to enact further tax cuts. Now, there are two problems with this. Speak to most economists and they will argue that tax cuts are not a very sensible way of trying to boost the long-term productive growth capacity of the UK economy. Secondly, they're really tearing their hair out now about this idea that you can pencil in spending cuts, further spending cuts after 2025.
Simon French, chief economist with investment bankers Panmure Gordon, having to watch his language when he talked about the economy.
The challenge really is whether it is the Conservatives or Labour at the next general election, whether they can break the UK out of what has really been now best part of a 15-year economic funk.
To be fair, it's only been the Tories for the last 13 years funking up the economy. Those bunch of dozy dip pits, what a bunch of funking clowns and clueless twits and utter harsh holes. Not forgetting the money-grabbing hunts.
I want to bring down the tax burden when it is affordable and responsible to do so. But the biggest tax cut that I could give families right now is to bring inflation down.
Stop calling inflation a tax. Here is economist Michael Saunders, and look for the honest subtitles.
Government of the last few years hasn't really had a strategy to try to improve the economy's long-term growth prospects. Indeed, by their policies over Brexit.
It has to be said that when it comes to the Tories on the economy, Brexit means Brexit. So, what is a technical recession?
Technical recession refers to a period of economic decline, typically characterized by 2 consecutive quarters of negative economic growth.
I think that's one of the economists that's pulling their hair out. Typical. All these smart AI robots, and we get the ones with chits missing. So why are the Tories talking about tax cuts when that just means that the government will have to make public service cuts in 2025?
The Chancellor, they say, may have to pencil in more spending cuts after 2025 to make his fiscal rules add up.
Yes, because if it's after 2025, it's not really a he problem. In fact, I think all the economists are hoping that we pull the her out. Rishi Sunak decided to step into the lion's den on Wednesday as he had a Q&A at GB News. And look at that turnout. This must be the entire viewership of GB News along with all their friend. Okay, so come on people, who wants to talk about immigration?
Hi Rishi Sunak. I've got so much to say but such little time. My name is John Watt and I'm one of the COVID vaccine injured. I want you to look into my eyes, Rishi Sunak. I know people who have lost legs, amputations, and left me and the thousands and the tens of thousands in this country to rot. Rishi Sunak, look me in the eye.
You're in a deep sleep. When you wake up, you'll believe that you are Elvis Presley and you're putting out fires with a pogo stick. And even more hilariously, you'll believe that the UK economy will have turned the corner. 3, 2, 1, you're back in the room. So what question did this guy want to ask?
That you're in. Rishi. We're silenced on social media and everything. Okay. We are silenced. We are the most silenced people in this country.
I don't think you are.
When are you going to start to do the right thing? Time for you to start doing the right thing, Mr. Rishi Sunak.
Which is what? Rishi Sunak can't do the right thing when he knows what the right thing is. Expecting him to do the right thing without giving him a clue. I mean, what would that even look like?
Silence in the press because my story in the press had to go to the government for comment and they made them take all the stuff out.
I mean, what's going on?
Forgive me both.
I know, I'm happy.
No one. Okay,
John. No one is saying.
Okay.
I've lost my house, my wife, successful career.
And sir, you raised some very valid points.
Yes, very valid points. Strike Force 1 with the tranquilizers. Move in now. And when I give you the nod, open fire.
Let's see from our next questioner.
Robin White. I'm a barrister from Somerset. Why should LGBT people vote Conservative?
Less about the LGB and more about the T, Prime Minister. More about the trans issue.
Okay, now we're talking. Start hitting the marks. Children's safety.
And in particular, I think these things are important when we're considering our children. I think most people would think that is important.
Tick. Women's safety.
Particularly when it comes to questions around women's safety, women's health, that biological sex is important. Do we think biological sex was important when we're thinking about women's safety, women's health? Yes, of course.
Boom! And trans safety.
And I don't think that should be a controversial thing to say. I think that is a relatively common sense view that I think is held by the vast majority of people.
There's a man that knows his audience. So Rishi Sunak, with all the passion, gravitas and commitment of a wet fart in Wigan. Honestly, you couldn't pay me to sit through that. although others were happy to do so.
Sir, has the PM convinced you to vote for him? He's convinced me to think about it. But what I really am thinking about at the moment is, where do I hand in my expenses claims?
This week, more than anything, seemed to be about dog whistle politics. Rishi Sunak was a preen poodle prattling on about how un-British this was of Keir Starmer.
You know, I get attacked by Keir Starmer because of where I went to school. And I said to him once, actually, I said, you're not really attacking me, you're attacking my parents. And you're attacking everybody like them that works hard to aspire for a better life for them and their family. I think that's wrong. I don't think it's British, and that's not the type of country that I'm going to build.
But that never happened. A complete lie, which may also be un-British, but very pro-conservative. That wasn't Keir's only step into the AI light. This is AI generated.
I don't care what you guys say. Look, I think we've gotten away with this one. Our supporters are beyond thick. They won't care if we just hand over and lose Rochdale. As long as we're scoring points with Israel, they'll be happy.
How is it possible that they found the only robot in existence that doesn't sound like Starmer? Then there's Reform candidate for the Wellingborough by-election, Ben Habib, who after visiting La La Land, where he picked up some of his favourite merchandise, turned up at this couple's home in Wellingborough after they received a letter from the council.
And you got this letter, and just spell out what this letter says.
That letter says that because the property is derelict, that they can compulsory purchase it. If there's any repairs to be done in it, they could take it off the price of the property.
Yeah.
And these properties are for migrants. That's what they want these houses for.
Extraordinary, isn't it? And how did you feel when you got a letter? You moved into your new wonderful home, you settle down, law-abiding citizens, and you get a compulsory purchase order from the council.
It's not a compulsory purchase order.
When I got that, I felt sick. When we went down to the council the day we got that letter after we read it, and the lady in there, she said, don't worry about it, it's just a standard letter.
It is a standard letter, but the most blatant and dangerous attempt to distort the truth isn't Reform Party, amateurs, or GB News. I mean, please. These people can't hold a candle to the real masters of the daft arts. A clip where Sadiq Khan misspoke about anti-Semitism and immediately corrected himself.
But as far as I'm concerned, that sort of language isn't acceptable, and it certainly shouldn't be acceptable in a party like mine that is proud to be both anti-racist but also anti-Semitic.
And we'll come back to some of those.
Tackling anti-Semitism.
Absolutely.
Yes, we know what you meant. That should be blindingly obvious to anyone with a shred of intelligence. But the Conservative Party official Twitter posted the clip version with the caption, Sadiq Khan says the quiet part out loud. Great. With rising tensions in the Middle East and a Muslim mayor trying to calm fears by a large London Jewish population, the Tories thought that was a moment to edit a video to misrepresent a democratically elected mayor. And Richard Holden, dick to his, well, let's be honest here, everyone, and the Conservative Party chairman went out of his way to defend it.
Anti-Semitism. You're not answering the question, Mr. Holden.
Well, I'm actually talking about the real issue here, which I think is anti-Semitism.
Well, hang on a second. There's a second issue. There is a second issue.
I'm interested in talking about the main issue, right? Which is a main issue which is actually affecting people's. No, let's be very clear.
Hang on a second. How can you say that misinformation published by the Conservative Party is not an important issue to address?
I can tell you now, it's not misinformation to talk about anti-Semitism in the Labour Party.
It's not misinformation, it's Mr. Information. It's not the Conservative, it's the Tories. It's not Brexit, it's COVID. It's not us, it's everyone else. With all this gaslighting, you have to ask why our energy bills are so high. This is just the Tories putting people's safety at risk so that they can garner a few extra votes, because that's what Tories do.
Absolutely.
Thank you all so much for watching. And if you have enjoyed these vids, then please like, subscribe, and please do share. And I'll see you all soon. Take care.